Welcome to this video. Today we'll be talking about spectroscopy. My name is Lionel and welcome. So we can define spectroscopy as the analysis of interaction between matter and any portion of the electromagnetic spectrum. So the goal of this video, in fact, is to use multiple spectrums to come up with a molecule. And we have multiple peaks here that we're going to use to find out what we have on our molecule. So if we look here on the left of 3000, around 3050, I'm not sure about this, centimeter -1, I couldn't put it, so that's why I didn't put the unit. And we can see that we have sp2, we have a peak here, which means we have sp2 carbon on our molecule. And right here, this peak here at the right of 3000, which is around 2900 centimeters -1, we have sp3 carbons. And if we move a little bit to the right here, we can see that at 1600 we have a peak, which shows that we have a C double bond C for a benzene. So this is all the useful information we had from the IR. So let's on NMR. So here we use these numbers to find out how many carbons we have. Here we have three hydrogens. Oh, sorry, how many hydrogens? Sorry, we have, and here we found out that we have 3 hydrogens, which means we have a CH3 here, and here we had 2 hydrogens, which means we have a CH2. And finally, right here, we have 4 hydrogens. And we find out that it was a benzene ring, so a CH6H4. Mass spectrum. And we looked right here, the parents, and we realized we have a molecule that has a molecular mass of 156. This is the molecular mass M, and we have an M+2 of 158. And we then look at the ratio, and we realize we have a ratio of 3:1, which means we have chloride on our molecule. That's why you can see we have chloride right here. And we were trying to see what fell down between here and here, and we find out that the mass that fell between here and here was 30. And there is the molecular mass of CH3, CH2. That's why you can see here we have a CH3, and then here we have a CH2. So then we move to our carbon NMR. This is where I spent all my time. It wasn't easy to find out and to find out which carbon, the location of carbons, but I think I came up with something. So let's see what we have. So first of all, I tried to collect all the information I had from the previous spectra, and I had a molecular mass of 140 instead of 156, which means there was something missing. And the molecular mass that was missing was 16, which told me I may have oxygen on my molecule. That's why you can see the oxygen right here. Now, how did I decide to put oxygen here and Cl here? I looked at how my carbons are looking on the spectrum. First of all, I'm going to say this mass spectrum shows me that I have 8 carbons, which is kind of what I find out from the previous information. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 right here. Now, when I look at here, I realize some of the carbons are kind of more downfield than others. These carbons are all the carbons that are on our benzene ring, and these 2 carbons are the CH2, CH3 we had, and we can see that they're also kind of deshielded because we were expecting them to be close to 0 right here, which tells me which confirm that I have electronegative elements on my molecule. Now, to know which how to assign carbons, I had to compare the electronegativity of oxygen and chloride. And according to the periodic table, oxygen is more electronegative than chloride, which means oxygen will push carbons more downfield. Because of that, I decided to uh, assign carbon A to this carbon, the one that carries O, because I think the O push it all the way downfield here. And the following carbon that is also downfield, but not as downfield as A, was carbon B. And I decided that B was the carbon that was carrying Cl. Also, what we can see is those two carbons are the carbons that have less hydrogen. So usually when a carbon has less hydrogen, it is more downfield, it's more shielded. So now it was time to decide among these two and these two, where was the position. So because carbon is more electronegative, I thought it will push carbons still more downfield than chloride, which means these two carbons are closer to the carbon that carries oxygen. That's why I assigned C and D to these two carbons right here, because they're closer to the C that carries O. And the last two carbons, these two carbons, are kind of more upfield as compared to C and D. That's why I said carbon E are these carbons, because they're kind of closer to chloride. So now I was left with two carbons and I had to decide where to put them. And I can see that these two carbons are really downfield. So the one that has more hydrogen, which is CH3, is usually more upfield than the one that has less hydrogen, which is CH2. That's why I took the CH2, I ended up really closer to the oxygen, because oxygen pushed it a little bit downfield than the CH3 here. So I assigned the peak F to the CH2 because it's kind of closer to O than CH3. So I finally came up with this molecule, which is the parachloroethoxybenzene, and the molecular mass of this compound is 156, which is what we had from the mass spectrum. So how confident I am about this compound? I can say I'm almost 100% confident that this is the right compound. And yeah, so this is how I was able to come up with this compound. If you have any question, please let me know. If I can't answer, I'll ask help from Susan. Now, what about my plans for summer? You guys all know I'm currently pregnant. I will be having a baby next month. So this summer, I won't be taking any class. I won't be working at all. So I'll just be taking care of the baby until the baby turns 3 months. And then I'll go back to Montgomery College during next fall, because I still have 2 classes before I can graduate from college, Physics 204 and Communication. And then I'll be working on my transfer process, because I would like to go to University of Shady Grove in University of Maryland, in Shady Grove campus. So yeah, that was all. And before I leave, I have a little story to share with you guys. It's about my own experience when I started Montgomery College. Before I tell you the story, let me tell you I am everything except a good chemistry student. So when I hear about chemistry, I'm always sick. So when I went for my placement test, I remember I was so scared, and unfortunately, I passed the test. So I was placed directly to Chem 131, which was not what I was looking for. I was looking for started from scratch because I knew I had difficulties with chemistry. So on the first day of class, I remember the teacher asking who was placed in that class from the placement test, and I raised my hand, and she told me, "Oh, it's not going to be easy for me. I have to work harder because others went through a lot of things from Chem 99 that I didn't." And I remember my two first exams, I got C's. And instead of her asking me to work harder, can you guys imagine? She kept telling me, she kept coming close to me. Actually, she was not talking to me, but I knew that was my message. She kept saying, "Oh, if you feel like you're not doing well in this class, please drop." Oh mine. At the time, it was really frustrating. I felt like dropping, but then I had only two classes. I was like, if I drop, then I would just have one. So the following exam, I had a B, and then finally, I had an A. And she came to me and she was like, "I didn't know you're gonna make it. I'm so happy you work harder and stuff. I know it wasn't easy." So yeah, this is to say that I went through a lot, especially on my chem classes, until I met Susan. As I told her last semester, she did a lot for me. I like the way she teaches, and she really takes care of everybody. She doesn't care about where you start. All she wants is you to improve on the more time passes. And you guys have been awesome during these 2 semesters, and I really thank you because I felt like people were always willing to help during discussions and during labs. And that was really good for somebody like me. So I wish you guys all the best, and I wish to see you again. Oh, before I go, today is my husband's birthday. Please, guys, wish him a happy birthday.
Hi.
All right, so yeah, that was all for this video. I wish you guys enjoyed it, and I'm so sorry. This is my first time doing this, so it wasn't easy, and I promise I'll do better next time. So thank you for your attention, and you take care of yourself. Bye bye.